Hi everybody, I'd like to show you how to use StatCrunch to get some statistical measures. This should help you with the midterm also. I'm in dataset 3, which you're going to use for your midterm project. And suppose I select Q8. Let's see. Now, to find out what Q8 is, can't really read it here. Now let's do Q7. I think there's more of a variety. Look what I'm doing here. I'm expanding that column. It says, how many terms have you been enrolled at Kaplan University? How many terms have you been enrolled at Kaplan University? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Stat and Summary Statistics, and I'm interested in a particular column, and that column is how, what did I say it was, Q8, how many terms have you completed at Kaplan? So you have to indicate what column you're interested in. And down here it'll tell you the statistics that the output will show you. And we're going to go over these in seminar, the mean, the variance, and what they indicate. Now also, you see where it says percentiles down here? I'm going to put down 33. In other words, I want the output to include the 33rd percentile point also. So I hit compute, and you notice right here the table, the output. So what it does is it answers the question for how many terms have you been enrolled at Kaplan University. There's been 169 replies from our student data survey. The mean number of terms is 5.5. That means the average. The variance, which is a measure of how spread out the data is 9.6. The square root of the variance is the standard deviation, which is 3.099. Say 3.1 years, or terms rather, is the standard deviation. That gives you an indication of how variable, how widespread the data is. And we're going to use standard deviation throughout this remainder of this course. I want to make sure you understand. What it measures is the variability. Now, we can estimate the standard deviation by taking the range of the data. The range is just the high minus the low. That's all it is. You see, it's 16 minus 1 is 15. The max is 16 terms. The minimum is 1. So the range is 16 minus 1, or 15. And that is the range of the data. The standard deviation is the range over 4. And so if we took 15 divided by 4, that would give you 3.75. That is an estimate of the standard deviation of the data. That is an estimate of the standard deviation of the data. So the information that I had here as far as an estimate of the standard deviation is the range over 4, or 3.75. Now you notice that the real standard deviation is about 3.1. So that estimate of 3.75 overestimates the standard deviation, but it's a good rule of thumb to use. The median of this data is 5. That means the median is the middle. So half of the students said that they were enrolled at Kaplan for less than 5 terms, and half of them claimed that they had been enrolled for more than 5 terms. We also talked about the minimum and maximum. That's pretty self-explanatory. Now you notice Q1 and Q3 are here. Q1 is the first quartile. That means it's the same as the 25th percentile. 25% of the students, or the data entries, said they were enrolled 3 terms or less. 25% said that they were enrolled for 3 terms or less. Q3 is the third quartile, and that says 75% of the respondents said that they had enrolled for 8 terms or less. Now you can take it the other way also. If 75% they said they had been enrolled for 8 terms or less, 25% have been enrolled for more than 8 terms. And Q1, the 25th percentile, or the first quartile, says 25% of the people have been enrolled for 3 terms or less. 75% of the people, 100 minus 25, have been enrolled for more than 3 terms. Now, you notice I put down the 33rd percentile earlier, just to show you. You can put any percentile you want in there, and it'll tell you what that percentile is. So in other words, 33% of the students said that they've been enrolled for 4 terms or less. So with the percentiles, you always label it as the number or less. Okay, 33rd percent, 25%, 75%, whatever it is. Now let's go back. Oh, by the way, you can go to options here, and you can copy this and read this instructions. Click on the output, hit Control A. So you click on this, go back and hit Control A. And then you right click and you copy it, and then once you do that, you can paste it into a Word document like your midterm. Okay, now suppose we want to do this. Suppose we want to know not only how many terms have been enrolled at Kaplan University, but suppose we wanted to, let's do the same thing, columns. How many terms have you been enrolled at Kaplan? But now suppose we want to group it by females only. It says group by gender. Okay, group by gender. It's going to show us the same thing, but now what it's going to do, it's going to give us the data for both female and male. See how it broke up those 167 people? So now we know that the female average number of terms is 5.45, and the male average number of terms is 5.88. And you could read across here and get all the other pieces of information. Now it's broken up for female and male. Hope this helps. Email me if you have any questions at afiducia@kaplan.edu.